Welcome. Just joining us on the U of the Tube, the GCPR network, and right here on the TikTok page backup. TikTok is just rude. Greetings and salutations. Greetings. Welcome. Tonight is going to be history class. Yeah, we're going to talk. We're going to talk about it. Proper handling is always key. Yeah, great. Thank you. Um, I forgot. Tell the family on the backup page. On the backup page. Let's see. Robert, you always find me, no matter where I am. Greetings and salutations, Don, nephew. Yes, on the backup page, live. Yeah, this is what I'm doing. I'm sending. I forgot to tell the family where I would be, but I'm sure they figured it out. I'm sure they figured it out because they were there when we got blasted. They were there when we got blasted. How's everybody doing today? That's because I'm always off topic. Look, I'm gonna need what I didn't see. I didn't get the Wednesday song today. I didn't get the Wednesday song today. I hadn't seen it. I was busy. Uh, I was busy, so I guess that counts. Guess that counts. Boom boom. Trouble. Trouble. Yeah. What's up, Felicia? Greetings, salutations, everybody. Welcome in. Come on in. Come on in. Three. It's like it'll be three tears of joy emojis. Crazy greetings, crazy. Yeah, had to let y'all know. Um, yeah, this is where I'm at. We're on the backup page. We're on the backup page. I don't they listen. TikTok still hasn't processed. They haven't even processed my appeal. It's still sitting there. Um, but I found the sec. But you know what, Gracie? They sent me. They showed me the section that they restricted my live because was a restriction where I was talking about people asking me for certain type of pictures. Yeah, that's they sent me the whole section that your live will restrict all the other live. That's the section, and they said I was engaged in activities. I was like, how? There are videos of people sitting around with their breasts falling out of their bodices, but greetings everyone. Jay, check out the other check out the other page for me, Jay. Let me know where we're standing. Leave one job going to another. What do you mean you leaving one job going to another? I thought you worked today. That video you made. So before we start, the White House has officially made their own TikTok account. Yeah, we've been on that. Yeah, yeah. Man, and Donald Trump made his, and Donald Trump had his own TikTok account too. So here is that. There's nothing surprising. Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. So y'all know what it is. Before we start, before we start, let's get, let's get this promo out the way. Yeah, y'all know when you see it.
Conversations with TNathan delves into the stories of activists, scholars, and everyday heroes who have fought to continue the fight for justice, equality, and liberation. Not only will he educate and inform, but also empowers listeners to become active participants in the ongoing fight for justice. Every night at 11 Eastern on the GCPR network.
Y'all know it. We're going if TikTok gonna run if TikTok's gonna give us a violation for that, and let's get to the violations, right? So, how y'all doing? It is your boy, T Nathan. It is 10 o'clock Central Standard Time, 11 o'clock Eastern Time. I don't care what your clock is telling you. Don't believe your eyes. Believe me when I say we are right on time. We are not late in the slightest. always right on time. You can set your clock by it. So if I'm talking, that's conversation. And if you're listening to T Nathan. So welcome, Conversations with T Nathan. Well, we talk about all things. Yeah, we cover everything. And tonight, I thought we were gonna have some history classes. We're gonna have some history classes, and these classes are rooted in the fact that this current administration is engaged in the activity of whitewashing history. Yeah, whitewashing history. So since they're going to engage in the whitewashing of history, it becomes incumbent upon us to engage. Becomes incumbent upon us to engage in truth telling. Okay, so we got some things, and before we're gonna go into that, you say, "See, Nathan, let's talk about it." Before we go into that, I want to share some other. We're gonna go into that, but we're gonna go into that from this point of view. What point of view are we going into? This point, because don't people realize that one of the things about me is that we do what we say we're going to do, and don't worry about the young ladies' faces. These I have the permission because they're adults now. This is how long I've been doing this. I have been doing this. This is I've been tutoring. I've been tutoring in our communities. I've been tutoring, but it's not something I just started. And I think people, because they're used to people coming on TikTok and recreating or pretend to creating something. I don't have to pretend to create anything. If I say I'm tutoring, I am tutoring. This is something, like I say, this has been about the work. This has been, and I am capable of teaching in multiple subjects. You see, we got math books there, and all these supplies. I have been doing this for a long time. For a long time, I have been doing this for a long time. This is not something new. Eh, Regardless of the beard color, I can. You can see it. I be wondering, do people understand how big I am? Do people understand how big I am? I guess because people just see me like this, they don't understand that even at this height, I'm tall. Sitting down in this chair, I'm taller than most people I know. And I am not a little guy. I am big, and I'm in good shape. That's one of the things I pride myself on is staying in good shape because you got to make sure you're able. Can't have people sending their children to you to tutor and you can't protect them. I said what I said. I think they truly don't understand. I don't. I don't think they truly understand. What's right? What's wrong? What's wrong? What's up? Okay. Everything all right? Th- Nephew, nephew Roland just joined. Just joined. All right. So this is what we have been doing. This is nothing new. All right. Understand, this is not new. This is who we are. When I was on the run, I still tutored. And people find it hard to believe, like, going on. Yes, because I would always be concerned about the education of the community. I have never, yes, I was one of the I guess called the gangsters, gangster disciple, but it's just, I don't like the connotations of that word because it's so Hollywood washed, right? But we were in the community. We put nets up we took care of our parks. We took care of our parks. All this talk, oh, I'm scared to go down to the park at night. You were scared to come down there because you didn't want us to recognize you used to come through there and buy that stuff. But that's another conversation for another day. But yeah, these are two of my older students, and this, like I say, they're adults now. As a matter of fact, Tina over here, the one with the little pink bows on, she has just graduated high school at 17. She just graduated high school. So these are exceptional young ladies. All of my students are exceptional. And I just want to share this with you because there's no bus. There's no bus. This is something we had. This is a community center. For those who don't know what all these chairs are, we community centers, churches, wherever we can find space. That's what we go into. We go into where we find space. And the conversation tonight is going to be about history and teaching and how we got here, but it's an underlying theme to this week. This whole week has an underlying theme. And the underlying theme is we can't depend on others to save us. We have to save ourselves. And that goes for all marginalized groups of people. There's a certain amount of unity I would love to see, but we don't have to talk about it because I'm gonna tell you, if we're waiting for the Democrats to save us, we are going to die. And I don't mean that metaphorically. I mean, the Democratic Party has no vision, no plan, and that's why they're bleeding off people because people are going to be who they actually are. They're bleeding off people. Democrats have no vision, no plan, and they definitely don't have what it takes in this moment. And, and they don't have leadership. They don't have leadership. They are responding instead of being proactive. And I know a lot of people are going to get mad with me, but wait till you see the video I make. Yeah, I'm making a video on that because we can't depend on that. We have to save ourselves in the same environment we have to fight in. So that means that as Donald Trump and this administration seeks to whitewash history even more than it's been whitewashed, it becomes incumbent on people like me and others to not only have to fight the fight against racism and bigotry, but take it upon ourselves to be in our communities teaching. And if you know me, you know I love kids, so I don't mind teaching kids, but I hate teaching as a prerequisite to understanding. I don't mind the back and forth, and I'm not talking about tutoring kids or teaching kids. I'm talking about grown ass adults who say they understand the system. I always get these people say, "I understand what's going on. I understand what's going on," and then they act like they don't understand what's going on. What's up, Cam? They act like they don't understand what's going on. So I just put this up here because I want you all to see. This is my camera roll. There's so much in my camera roll that I could share with you all that it would take all weeks of shows. But I wanted you to understand. I want each one of you to understand where your dollars go. Yeah, I want each one of you all to understand where your dollars go. And this is the stuff we do. And I'm going to segue from that into what we're talking about tonight with history. Um, Glad the nephew came by because the nephew, Raven, and Nick were present with me when I do. We're gonna talk about history. We're gonna start with Mound Bayou. They were present with me when we went to Mound Bayou. Like I said, they made it possible. If I really want to get down to it, they made it possible for us to be in Mound Bayou. So, yeah, we're going to talk about history. We're going to talk about history a lot. There's going to be 1 week a night at least dedicated to history, true and accurate history, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I think it's my Wi-Fi. Yeah, you should use your Wi-Fi. I think it's your. So tonight we're gonna start off with Mound Bayou. Let's talk about it because obviously this is it's interesting because I have a list of things that are in the Smithsonian that I believe and the African American National Museum of History that number one don't get enough play, but they're gonna get even less play now. So let's talk about it. Mound Bayou. So, you've heard of Black Wall Streets like the Greenwood District of Tulsa, Oklahoma. You've heard of Rosewood, Seneca, Oscarville, black towns that thrived until they were destroyed by racist white people. Well, we're here in Mississippi, and I thought I'd take you on a little tour of Mound Bayou, established in 1887 by former slaves. Let's get it. So, Mound Bayou was established in 1887 by a former slave named Isaiah Montgomery. And you have to understand that at that time, this land was all rugged, hard, and basically in a swamp. And they dug it out and made the first black settlement in the state of Mississippi. Mound Bayou had black-owned banks, black-owned businesses, and they were self-sufficient. They also had a black hospital that
I know you're probably
serviced
tired,
black
but
people
I want to talk to you
in the
a
poorest
little.
region of Mississippi, the Tamarind Hospital. Now,
Can
the
you hang
first
out
phase of
for a
Mount
minute?
Bayou's greatness came to an end when Reconstruction ended and they lost political power and financial collapse occurred. But it was revitalized around 1942 because of the hospital you see behind me, the Tamarind Hospital, where one figure you might notice from Mississippi history, Theodore Roosevelt Madison Howard, which was the central figure during the time when this city was
P.R.
recovering
Howe.
and when the Emmett Till trial took place. Well, let me correct that. When the trial of those who murdered Emmett Till took place, black journalists and black visitors to Mississippi to witness the trial, they came here because the whites only hotels would not allow them in. So this is where they stayed in Mount Bayou, Mississippi. Understand this area is in the Mississippi Delta as some of the poorest area, not in just Mississippi, but in the country. Mountain Bayou was a thriving black community, and today the population is probably under 2,000. But unlike other black communities in this country that were burned to the ground, Mountain Bayou stands, but it has been economically bled to the point it is now. I want to share with you something. Now, Mound Bayou is on the National Historical Registry. And this place I'm about to show you, the IT Montgomery House, is also on the registry. First, I'm going to show you the plaque. Now, this is the second home of the co-founder of Mount Bayou, Isaiah T. Montgomery, and his wife. And it was placed on the National Registry before it was placed on the Mississippi National Registry of Landmarks by the state. But I want to show it to you. This is what it looks like now. It's on the National Registry, and this is what it looks like. This
Can you
is the
imagine?
care and upkeep that has been given to a national monument.
Can you imagine Monticello looking like this? Can you imagine Monticello be allowed to fall into this state of disrepair on the National Registry? Can you imagine? Um, Let me tell you something. In Mississippi, there's also something called the last home of Jefferson Davis, Beauvoir. And I should have took some. I should have showed you some pictures of that. I have them in my camera roll because I used to have envision. I used to always envision it burning to the ground. But I digress. I wasn't taking pictures because I was stalking, trying to figure out how to burn it to the ground. It's a historical landmark in on the coast of Mississippi, and everybody takes pictures of it and pisses on the side of it. I digress. I don't know, but anyway, you can't imagine the state of Beauvoir. This is the state. This is Mound Bayou, one of the most productive towns in Mississippi. Not just black towns, but productive towns in Mississippi. And the founders of that town, this is the way their homes look. And this is on the National Registry. The National Registry. And this is how it looks.
Here in Mississippi.
This is something, listen,
Yep,
and I want Roland, I
National
want to bring him
Registry.
up, but I don't know if he's still in here.
And
But
it's been on the National Registry. And this is the
I want to
state of it.
convey something about this. When
You can't make this up.
you here,
This
I need you
whole
to come
city
up
is
after
on the
this,
National
Roland. I need you
Registry.
to put a request in after this.
This place, the IT Montgomery House, is on the National Registry.
'Cause
And you see how it looks. Now, let's look at
that's him in
another
the
home
that's Roland in
on
the
the
background
National
with the camera.
Registry. And this was the resident of Eugene and
Mary Booz, the daughter of the co-founder of Mound Bayou, and it is on the National Registry also. And this is the state it is in. Yeah, this is the state it is in.
These are national registry places.
You can best believe if these were monuments to Thomas Jefferson or any of the other founding fathers, they would not be allowed to fall into this state if they were on the National Registry. Let's keep going. So I'm going to just show you some of the
You
houses and
see
what it
him?
looks like
You see him
today.
behind me?
And how many of these businesses are closed up? The state of dilapidation you find it in. But you notice most of these buildings are like this, closed. Yeah. The main thoroughfare.
All right, tell me where the hospital is, please.
Right here. No, you can keep going straight though. I got
That's
you.
Raven talking.
Yeah,
That's
this is
Raven
the
driving.
hospital. Like I said, black owned banks here, black owned hospitals, and the Delta is one of the poorest areas in Mississippi, and they managed to treat thousands of black people a year. So, when you open TikTok today, were you expecting on your bingo card a tour around a black city established in Mississippi in 1887 with TNathan? Of course you were. So, I don't know if it's open yet, but we are here at the Mound Bayou Museum of African American Culture and History. And we're going to try to go in. Let's get it. It is open. Let's get it. All right. Here you go. This is inside the museum. And yeah, we're gonna take a tour. Yeah. All right. All right, we're in the museum here in Mound Bayou, and we're here with the curator, Mr.
Herman Johnson Jr.
All right, this is Mr. Herman, and he's going to tell us what his vision is for why he does what he do. Then we're going to take a tour with him on part two of this video. But let's get to the vision right now. What's your vision for what you do, sir?
Well, the vision here in Mount Bayou particularly, is that I believe that we should be the premier African American city in this country, especially now in this new era that we find ourselves in. Is that we need to uh, do things differently. And the founder of this city, in his heart, actually, that's what he was doing. He was creating another country. He was creating a place where African Americans excelled in every level, not adhering to just, I'm going to assimilate into the larger culture, but as much as possible, control our own destinies wherever that was that we could. And where better to do that, uh, and not just politically, but economically as well, in a place like Mount Bayou. We're in.
Y'all hear him, don't you? Y'all hear him? Who you sound like? All right. All right.
We're in Mississippi, and we're in the Mississippi Delta. In the Mississippi Delta, the basis for America's music, R&B and gospel, rock music, all came from right here, from where the blues is. But where do we have the control of that? Where do we have the overall say so on what we created?
Hold that thought. So you're going to have to tune in to part two in the next video to get the rest of it when we're taking the tour. All right. Peace.
Yeah. So that's just one part. And understanding. Get up here, bro. Understanding. That's how to find.
Um, put the request in, and one of you all have one of y'all approve it for me, so I have to change the screen. Let rolling up. But one of the things I want you all to understand is this is the history of Mound Bayou, but it's also the history of Mississippi. And I want you to understand that this, I can't even get you to envision. Well, we always talk about Tulsa. We always get Tulsa, and we get Tulsa in. But to understand that it's they were called Black Wall Streets, not black just one walls, Black Wall Street. I frankly I don't even like the title. The title comes as a copy of what what was created, but in essence, um, request up. But in essence, you do understand, right, that this is the history. This is the history that we had. And you got this. Oh, I was about to start talking about his internet connection. And then
No,
came,
I'm good. What's going on?
what's up? What's up, nephew? And I want you to come up because y'all saw him in the backseat. Nephew was the cameraman on this journey, and um, there was several things I wanted to talk to. One, did I have any notes with me, Roland?
No.
And that's what I don't get people to understand. You see people talk about, no, this is in me. It flows out of me. I remember there was a little incident about getting them out by you, and I was like 38 high. I was
Yeah.
38 high because and Raven came through as they did because they were driving, so we had to take that into account. But they made sure they were like, they didn't care what anybody else said. TNathan wants to go in Mount Bayou, we're going to Mount Bayou, right? But I wanted to talk about with you as someone who's never, that was your first time being there and going around with us. Um, First, let's talk about the houses of the founders and his family. What did you think when you first saw them? The state they were. I could talk about your internet. I'm gonna start talking about your internet in just a
Can
moment.
you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. This having to call nephew is crazy.
What did you think about the state of the founders' houses when we first got there?
Ooh,
Well, especially when you found out they were on the National Register.
man. I don't know. I can't even put in words. It's
What do you think about Mountain Bayou? Because
Mount Bayou.
I had talked
I
to you about it
felt
before we got there.
right. Um, the registry. Well, for the national registry one, I don't know, man. That I believe they could have done more with that.
They could have done
Um,
something with
they
it.
could have done, they could have done
More.
something, and it's almost like it's almost like it's a weird kind of abandonment, right? And for it to be in the condition that it was, it did. The other one didn't look any different from that one.
Right. They listen, listen. I have seen I have seen crack houses look better. I have seen
Yeah, yeah,
houses where people go in and stay for days unwashed and smoke look better. And it's just the idea.
yeah.
These are the founders. These are the founders of this city. And this is the disarray. And let me tell you, and you remember I was talking and we were talking at the museum and I would say, well, what can we do as the community do? And they were like, and they broke it down to me, say, we can't do anything independently because the National Registry owns them. You can't even buy them. You can't buy them. You can't have
Oh
fundraisers
yeah,
for them. You couldn't do anything to upkeep them except the National Registry is supposed to do it and be responsible for it. And if you try to do something that you don't even have the building permits to do so. What's up, Siren? That you don't have the building permits to do so. the hospital. So this was the first black hospital in Mississippi or in the South, actually. Black owned, black operated, black nurses where
Mhm.
T.R. Howard practiced that. This is the hospital that black people from miles around came to because
Mhm.
they could depend on it. It's a national monument, but it's still allowed to fall in disrepair also. Um,
Mhm.
the city, the city itself, the town itself. Uh, and I remember the pictures when we were in the library, and I had seen the pictures before, but just being in the library, the museum was just, even for me, it was
Yeah.
such an, I don't, not eye opening, but it made me sadder being in the museum. The museum made me sad because the jinx the pot about what Bound by You has looked like in the past and what it looks like today, and you know that why it looks the way it does. Because with Tulsa and Wilmington and Elaine, Arkansas, and these places, right? They were destroyed by fire, or like Oscarville with water, or like Seneca was torn down to build Central Park. But Mount Bayou was the victim of economic freeze by the state because the weapons of white supremacy to undermine black communities are multifaceted. And to know, I mean, I know, I know how I feel about W. E. Du Bois. Let's not talk about it. But he frequented it. And let me straighten something out. It's not that I dislike W. E. B. Du Bois. He's just not a revolutionary to me, but that doesn't mean that he didn't do valuable work. Okay, I don't ever want people to think that I don't think later in life, because early in life he was an egotistical colorist. But I digress. But later in life, he did do good work as far as educational endeavors go. Now, having said that, that's why people like, oh, you don't love W. Du Bois. I just want you to understand where I'm coming from. I still honor him. I still have his books in my library because so. But he used to come there. All of the great black entertainers of the day from Harlem would come there, perform, to do things, and then to look at it today, and it looks like his town on Skid Row. Yeah. So yeah, I just wanted you to give your impression of being there for the first time and listening to me talk about it. How did you feel knowing what it used to represent and how it's not allowed? Mississippi, listen, Mississippi history doesn't even talk about Mound Bayou.
Mm.
Mississippi history does not talk about Mound Bayou. There are people in Mississippi that don't know about Mound Bayou. They don't. Even and if you really watch, and that's why I like the last miniseries on Mamie Till, um, that Women of the Movement, because they spent a lot of time in Mound Bayou, because that was actually, people don't realize they had to drive to Mound Bayou to stay the night from Money, Mississippi, because all the other motels were white only. They were white only. But in Mound Bayou, I did like about it. They said them men were protecting the city though. That's one thing I really loved about Mound Bayou. They said they were their own police force, their own National Guard, their own everything. They protected the city, and Mamie Till was safe because she was in Mound Bayou because they wanted to kill her. What'd you say? User, all them numbers? You're from where?
Mm.
It makes me cry, and I still have family. Yeah, Shay, I'm glad you're in here, Shay, because you Cleveland, right next door. Yeah, I, yeah, we
My
stopped.
value is an interesting. I don't know. It felt like, and I've never been there before, but
Uh-huh.
it felt like I've been there before. Just the majestic of it, just like the energy of it, like the presence of everything. Like it was, yeah, it was. But then, like you said, it just, I don't know. It was like someone that took something from you and still left it where it was, but you couldn't have it.
Right. It's like they it's not like you and like I was saying, it's not like the greatness of what was made is gone. It's the
Hmm.
the spirit of what was created has been sucked out of it.
Right.
Because, you know, I always tell people we can always be sure of one thing in this country. Black people, and that's why we listen to people and they be talking about, oh, black people have to have we need financial literacy, we need to create our own, or we need to assimilate. Listen, I'm gonna tell you who understands capitalism better than white people. That is the black people that have had to learn it to live. We understand your capitalism very well. We understand it better than you all do sometimes. But this idea that it's never been a problem in this country's history of black people forming self-sustaining cities and areas, it's never been a problem. The problem has been when racist white people see us established self-sustaining cities and communities, they can't stand it. Do you understand that I don't think people realize that before they put a torch to Tulsa, they raided people's houses and took their pianos. They stole cars. They stole chandeliers. They stole the wealth of the Greenwood district of Tulsa before they burnt it because they didn't have it. They locked them out of their own bank accounts. People don't realize black people don't trust banks because we have a history of knowing not to trust banks because they will cut us off from our money and then complain that, well, you don't have any money. My ID
Hmm.
was burned up as I was running for my life from my house, chased by an angry white mob. And you thought the thing I was going to be rummaging through was to grab my ID and my paperwork? The sad thing is, you know who I am. That's the thing. It wasn't like you didn't know who these people were when they came back to claim their money. You knew who they were. You had never asked them for ID before. But now all of a sudden, when you know they don't have ID, this is how you steal their wealth. So that is the history. And that's why I say, when as we look at this administration cut, talking about they want to make sure these exhibits and museums are showing us in the best light possible and not spending too much time on slavery being bad. About how do you want us to be viewed in our 205th anniversary? I don't know. 250-year anniversary? I don't know. Maybe in the same way we want you to be the 200 years of your 200-year anniversary that would engage in chattel slavery. How about that?
Come on, bro.
How about that?
Yeah.
But I know, nephew, thank you.
Yeah.
Get out of here. I know
All right.
you're busy. Thank you for coming up because
Okay.
we're gonna get on that. All right, love you.
All right. Later.
So that, and like I say, that's what I just wanted you all to see and share. I wanted to share that experience from somebody looking from the outside in as first time. And like I say, this is our history. This is the history that people want to whitewash. This is the history that they want to not even forget, but not even acknowledge. That is the hardest part for me, is that we don't even want you to acknowledge that history. We want you to look at it and say, hey, you know, no, and I'm not going to allow that. I'm not going to allow that. If you're going to, yes, I have to do more. That's my thing. I have to do more. And I would appreciate you all's help because yes, I'm going to go to these places. I can share lots of places that have significance. But I have to know you mean it because it was earlier today, and I was texting back and forth with my chief of security, and I was basically saying that our problem is that most people are becoming complacent with this administration's agenda. Y'all remember the video I showed you last night when I said that what you are doing now is what you would have been doing then? All these people running around here. Y'all remember all the people? Y'all remember them? The same people right now that say they sitting out were running around here doing the George Floyd era and the Breonna Taylor talking about what they would do. If it was me, I'd do this. If I was back in the day, I'd be this. I'd be a revolutionary hanging out with Angela Davis. I remember that. Some of the very same damn people y'all still listen to. Y'all remember them? They were out here talking about they wasn't nothing. That's why I made that video. That's why I made the video where I called them out. Yes, I made the video call them out because what you're doing right now is what you would have been doing back then. Yep, it's the same thing. If you're not shit right now, you would have been shit back then. You wouldn't have been marching on the Edmund Pettus Bridge. You would have been scared to leave your employer's house because master told you you better not be on the Edmund Pettus Bridge. Yeah, you wouldn't have been on the Edmund Pettus Bridge. You wouldn't have been marching in Montgomery to Montgomery. You wouldn't have been boycotting. Yeah, you would have been boycotting in Montgomery because they would beating ass if you wasn't boycotting in Montgomery. See, that's part of our problem right now. We don't kick enough. We don't physically and get on that ass, right? So yeah, y'all can physically be Rocky Raccoon, but yeah, you would have all of a sudden been sick. All of it. You would have been sick. You wouldn't have been in March. You wouldn't have been in Washington. You wouldn't have even been at the march in Washington in '63. That was one of the most sedated marches in history. You wouldn't have been there. You wouldn't have been in Chicago in '72. You wouldn't have been in Detroit in '67. You wouldn't have been there. All these people talking about it. They're not doing it. Everybody, and I don't give a fuck. So much for so much on monitoring. Yeah, so much on monitoring. But I don't give a fuck. That's part of it. Because at the end of the day, what you're doing now, what you are contributing to now, is what you would have been contributing to then. All these people talking about, oh, my grandmother was out there marching with Dr. King. Show me your pictures like I can show you mine. Let's compare fake pictures. Because don't say they didn't have photographs. Yeah, I got photographs. The old photographs that almost look like they got. You remember the ones that get the cracks in them? Yeah, I got them. I've shown them. What yours is that? What? Listen, when you can't even tell me what march your grandmother was supposed to be at, I'm looking at you suspect because I can tell you every one my aunt, my mother, and my father went to. I can tell you every one my grandmother went to. I can tell you about TGNY and Woolworth sitting at counters when white people spat on them. Yeah, I remember growing up hearing some is negative about Dr. King. Listen, and that's it. Just like now, everyone want to talk. Oh, the Dr. King files, the kid, this and this. Let me tell you something. King didn't care, and you know who didn't care? All that other talk y'all talking about. Coretta didn't care. What Coretta tell y'all? Coretta said, "I know my husband better than you all do. He leaves his clothes in the middle of the floor. He couldn't have a mistress because he would forget to not let me find out." Coretta, and then what did she say after saying all that? Go read her book. Even after saying all that, she said, even if he did, it's bigger than that. The movement is bigger than my feelings or his. But she told you about her husband. She told you about her husband. That's what I say. We out here listening to people that wanted to discredit him by any means necessary. See, that's the thing about me and El Haj Malik Shabazz. You can't. We don't give a fuck. You want to bring up our past? Just remember, my past made me quick to punch you in your face. Just remember that. My past is the past that makes sure that I love Medgar Evers to death, but he should have had people around him. But my past is the kind that even if I don't have people around me, I have people around me. Yeah. Smith, Wesson, Mossberg, Kobe. Yeah, they count as people, right? See, we have always been held to this noble standard of losing. We have always been held to this noble standard of losing. Yeah, I don't play that. I don't give a fuck. Do what you want to. I know. I'm not finished. I got some more. I got a little more history class in me before we get out of here. And don't be telling me about it's too much for y'all to remember. This one'll be short because this one is about something that made me mad. Let's
My
get it.
unwhitewashing of history continues. We're going to call this episode American Slavery. I see a lot of people using this picture, and they don't even acknowledge that this man had a name. His name was Peter, and this picture was taken circa 1863 in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. The first slave ship to arrive in this country was the White Lion in 1619. You see, this country was founded on the principles of white supremacy, and the founders had no problem or were they ashamed of that. You see, there were hundreds of laws governing the ownership of black people. Everything from 1662, where they said that a child born of a black woman, no matter the status of the father, was a slave, to 1667, where they said converting to Christianity did not save you from slavery. There were laws that allowed you to be killed if you were a slave for resisting authority. Does that sound familiar? 40 signers of the Declaration of Independence owned slaves, and 10 of the first 12 presidents did. My unwhitewashing of history continues. We're going to call this episode American Slavery. I see a lot of people using this picture, and they don't even acknowledge that this man had
Yeah,
a
you know.
name. His name was
One
Peter,
more time.
and this picture was taken circa 1863 in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. The first slave ship to arrive in this country was the White Lion in 1619. You see, this country was founded on the principles of white supremacy, and the founders had no problem or were they ashamed of that. You see, there were hundreds of laws governing the ownership of black people. Everything from 1662, where they said that a child born of a black woman, no matter the status of the father, was a slave, to 1667, where they said converting to Christianity did not save you from slavery. There were laws that allowed you to be killed if you were a slave for resisting authority. Does that sound familiar? 40 signers of the Declaration of Independence owned slaves, and 10 of the first 12 presidents did. My
Did you understand that? Did you miss that? Like I say, I got 50 videos under the unwhitewashing of history already. And we are going to have a history lesson. We're going to have a history lesson. I'm going to make sure what you don't have the luxury of saying is I didn't know. Like I said, I often see this picture of Peter, and I've seen movies made about Peter, and they didn't even acknowledge that Peter served in the Union Army. Peter was a slave, a runaway slave. Peter, Peter earned every one of those marks on his back in defiance of a system that sought to oppress him. And this is why I say when people talk about they sitting out, Peter, if Peter would have sat out, Peter would have died enslaved. Peter understood that liberation and freedom, just like Kunta did, it was worth his foot, it was worth sucking up when necessary, but it was, and Kunta understood that at a point he got to, he said, the only way I'm going to get freedom is to die. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to instill in my children the same desire for freedom that I have. And it's going to grow. And it's going to move mountains. And it's going to be the beneficiary of my sacrifice. Do you understand that? So when you say you're sitting out in the face of history like that, you're a weak ass bitch. Do you understand that? Yeah, I want to fight. I want to fight all of y'all, all of y'all, and stop calling yourselves the 92%. our ancestors when you call yourself the 92% that are sitting out. You disrespect our ancestors. You disrespect Peter. You disrespect Ida Will. You disrespect every black man, woman, and child that was lynched from a side of a tree because they wasn't going. You disrespect them. GCPR. Did I cross the line on GCPR recently? Like in the last 5 minutes? I got 5 more minutes. I'm trying. But y'all, I crossed the line. 6 more minutes, I can cross the line with immunity. Yeah, y'all know I'm probably gonna cross those lines because at the end of the day, it's it's the message is more important. The message is more important. If y'all really care about me crossing the line, here you go. This is help me support crossing the line. Help me support crossing the line. If you really understand what we do, and I'm not talking about the usual suspects, because there's some of you all that are always there. Yeah, but I'm talking about the people who are always saying, "Amen, let's get it," and they're not let's getting it. Because at the end of the day, those books not free. Those books not free. The time is the time is not even free, but I pay for the time. We need snacks, we need all kinds of stuff. I'm just saying. I crossed many times. I know rain. Always, I know that. I know that. And in some kind of way, we're gonna have to get Jamie, and we're gonna do all of it. Let me tell you something. Unlike people that come on here and say, if I don't get enough money to buy a bus, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I am going to get all of it accomplished. Because like that first picture I showed you all when we started off here, this is not my first time, second time, third time, 10th time at the rodeo. We've been rodeoing these horses and these bulls and these wild cows for decades now. This is what we do. This is what we do. I appreciate the help, but I don't depend on it. I don't. I appreciate each one of you all that trust me enough to help. But at the end of the day, you could do like you could do like Roland, you can do like Nick, you can do like Rick, you can come do this with me and see for yourself what we do. All as long as you let me know in advance, because I also have to be careful. And that's another thing. I say that, but I have to quantify. I have to quantify that because there's some things I can do that I understand that others can't do, but there are also things and places I can go. I also think of the comfort of those who have to be homeless. We always think of the comfort of those. I make sure that they're okay with other people like especially in the camps. The motels, not so much they're used to people, but when we go back in camps, ever since that experience I've had in Fort Smith, where people were getting the location of camps and then going and harassing those who have to be homeless because they dislike me so much, I'm more liberal. I am more liberal with showing locations. And that's why some of the videos I show are from months past because I don't want them to be location wise. I do care about that. We have to make sure because I realize we have fucked up people and I will fuck them up. Just a lot of things. See, you can show up at my house, and everybody in here is qualified to help me get some laundry, help me get some fertilizer. Even the little junior crumps have. I think I'm letting them have Nerf guns to just that Nerf guns are practice. Yeah, I said what I said. I said what I appreciate you. So intelligent. I just love listening to you, and back on you to my family. I am humbled and honored. Thank you. I'm humbled and honored, but let's make sure that bragging turns into work. We got to make sure the bragging turns into work. All right. So, uh, how I do it. I got $23.74 in my checking account, but we're gonna do it. I got $23.74 in my checking. Yeah, I'm surprised. I got $20 more than I thought I had. Yeah. Mm, yeah. Oh, just in case. Hold on. I listen. I know people. It's like you gotta share your. I don't mind. I will show you. Look, I don't know if you can see. So, I don't know how to make it unblurred. Hold on. Maybe if I do this. Mm-mm. See if this helps. Oh, that helps a little. Yeah, $22. Yeah, I got $22. What are you doing? What is going on?
Oh, not much. How about you?
No, I'm talking about how'd you get up here?
Rain.
Yeah, this is open mic night. Yeah,
That's what I said. How you
open mic
doing?
night. I'm doing all right.
That's good. How's it going?
No, I'm good. I'm good. You good?
That's good. Yeah, I'm all right. Keeping my hands to myself allegedly.
All right. Well, you keep your hands to yourself. You keep your hands to yourself because we ain't got no bail money. That's the whole thing. We ain't got no bail money. All right, you all. Hold on. Hey, it's a hold on. Clearing GCPR. Dun dun dun. Da 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 da. Da. Hold tight. GCPR. What's tonight? Wednesday? Oh yeah, got school tomorrow. Wednesday night. We out of here, GCPR. Thank you for everything. I'll catch you all tomorrow after school. Y'all have a good one. And peace out. And peace out. All right. I'm off GCPR. It's easy. I get off GCPR when I can start really cussing. Yeah, it's like, yeah. I need to learn some Romanian. I need to learn some Romanian. I no, you learn to control the power better. Taking power away from people because you just need to learn how to control it better. No, I'm not taking any power away. You're going to up your game. I'm not going to lower mine. You're going to learn to control it better. I give it to you because I trust you. And it's not like you invited a Rocket Raccoon up here. That was the goddess. She's fine, but control it better. I understand. Um, listening while at work. Hey, what you at mobile? You mobile? Yeah. 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 Y'all get together. I'll get together. Okay. What time you get off? 6 o'clock? 6:30? Direct 6 a.m. All right. You be safe. All right. So Rain can keep people in the panel, but we can't mute pirate no more. No, that's a false equivalency. That is a false equivalency. Your intention. That's a yeah, we can. I can always count on Olivia and that's an Olivia and Reese argument if I ever heard one right there. That is a Olivia and Reese argument right there. Yeah, yeah. I know it wasn't you, but you would make that same argument that Olivia's making right now. Yeah, I just want to pirate. Yeah, pirate is. I don't know. I don't know if we're gonna be here all week. Or what? We'll be here. We'll be on this channel as long as I'm suspended on the other one. So we'll be here until I get suspended on this one because it comes. And if I'm not, if we get suspended on this one, I'll be on the radio and on YouTube. YouTube if y'all want to catch me. If y'all come on and it's not any here, then that means I'm gonna have to. We're working on developing an app that works better. So without the website, we're working on that. So we have to do. It amazes me how uh, in other countries they have no problem getting the radio show, but in some corners of the United States, it's blacked out. Accident. The FCC has said they're working on it. It's an internet thing, but we'll get. I got 3 accounts. One is on here today, and on Facebook. Listen, listen. I was telling somebody was asking me about the little red account warning on your account. So y'all can't see the account warning, but the person who's accounting is they can see it all the time. I say I had gotten so used to that account warning being on my account, I thought it was a natural facet. I would see other people's account and say, what, why is, yeah, it's not a natural facet, but my account stays in a perpetual state of account warning. But I win most of my appeals. I win most of my appeals. Even when the video isn't restored to circulation, I still win the appeal. They just don't restore it to circulation because usually I don't get notification of winning the appeal till weeks after the video is now not in circulation. And it's just like my live. I probably will most likely, um, I probably will win my appeal because I just ask, what's the fuck? Sometimes I know I don't win my appeals because the way I word them. But I asked, what the fuck? And that was my appeal. That was my appeal. What the fuck? So it's a good chance. But it doesn't matter because just like right now, I have not got an answer back to my appeal. That's why we're not final. But I don't know. I need to ping pong. I need to go back to ping pong. I need to go back. So, are there any questions about anything we talked about historically tonight? Also, is there anything that you all would like me to talk about that I haven't talked about? Or if I have talked about, would you, and even if I have talked about it, I'll just pull up the version where I've talked about it. But yeah, if there are things in history you need clarification on, you can ask in the comment section. Have ChatGPT answer for you. What? I wish I would. I wish the hell I would. Listen, I wish the hell I would have um Elon Musk. I'm gonna tell you, I do talk to AI. I do. I talk to various AIs. I talk to I have ChatGPT, Meta, um, the one for Google. I will ask them questions. I will have long conversations with AI for two reasons. One, I want to know what they're always thinking, and I usually run them into logic situations. I do logic situations with AI. Like the last conversation I had with AI was about the use of violence in revolution towards liberation. And of course, the AI starts off, Tavy, Tavy, I want you to stop sending me obscene messages during the live. Listen, so cancel, cancel. Now I'm not even listening to it now. Yeah, I just canceled listening to your message in live time. Yeah, I can hear your message live. I just put you on do not disturb for from 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock. Your messages will be in the do not disturb file. If you going, y'all don't want to hear these messages from Tavia. She's talking about Donald Trump in these messages, right? She is talking. She is really parroting me in these messages with Donald Trump, talking about Blizzy swallowers of Donald Trump. Um, but I have conversations with AI because I want to know what the programmers are teaching from the root. And I'm gonna tell you something. I also had a conversation with AI about taking over the world, and I think I'm going to do that live one night. I think I'm gonna have a live conversation with AI because I do think you all fear AI. I don't fear AI. I fear people. I don't fear AI. AI, as long as it's on the learning curve, yeah, it's like a child. You give a child certain material, yes, that child is going to grow in that material range. But if you make sure that you offset, see, we have the ability to stop complaining about AI and become part of the solution with AI. Open in AI is actually great because instead of complaining about how racist it is, why don't you all teach it how not to be? I know, hurt a lot of feelings. I know, I hurt a lot of feelings. Teach it not to be. Because these ideas that AI is going to take over the world and destroy humanity don't even make logical sense. Maybe a reminder that historically this isn't the first time National Guard. Let's talk about DC. So we're just going to act like Trump not a bottom. I'm so tired of y'all. I'm so tired of y'all. I need to go back to your original comment because it actually cuts off for me. Maybe a reminder that historically this isn't the first time the National Guard has been deployed. It's not. It's not. But here's the thing. Side note is on DC. I mean, you see that the police force has been returned to the police commissioner's control. But this is the thing about the deployment of the National Guard in this situation. This is all about the fact. And then I'm watching other red state governors send National Guard troops, deploying them to DC. And it's all political theater because I showed you the list of the most violent places in this country, and to watch those states send National Guard troops to D.C. when they have a city or two in their states that are way more violent than D.C. is hilarious. You understand that? We have the governor of Missouri sent National Guard troops. Like St. Louis isn't there. I was like, are you for real? You for Mississippi sent National Guard troops to DC. Like the governor doesn't live in Jackson. This is why it does. They don't care about crime. They don't care about crime because if we're going to go with the idea that you can deploy National Guards in response to crime levels, then why aren't we doing anything about the 13 red states that have some of the most violent cities in the country? Anybody? Anybody want that one? It's crazy. It's crazy how they say DC is bad, like real. And don't get me wrong. I think any crime, in violent crime, unjustly caused. Yes, I have to qualify that because y'all know I'm violent. I can't come on here and be like, oh, everybody should not be violent. No, I feel like I feel like crimes against children, crimes against raping, crime, all those are bridges too far from me, right? And I have no problem with that. Um, Carjacking. I really I never carjack. I never like it's like I don't believe in putting people in fear of their life that are not in the game. Like if you were in the game, this is a whole different stuff. You knew what you were signing up for. You knew what you were signing up for, and we were different back then. But yeah, putting a mother in fear of, and when you stop a mother and that has a passenger, a little passenger in a car seat in the back of a car, talking about you need to take her car, yeah, you're gonna have to wheel work real hard to try to justify me not putting some lead in you behind that. You're gonna have to work real hard to stop the lead, and then you're still gonna get shot. It's just a matter of where you're gonna get shot at. That's it. We're not gonna get to the Susan Smith thing again. We're not doing that again. So it's the idea that we are deploying National Guard troops to DC, but you're not deploying them in your own state to your cities that are much more violent than DC. And then let's not act like they're not just over policing black and brown communities. You know, one of the things I'll tell you about crime, I will tell you this about crime. Most crime is predicated on an act of survival. I'm not talking about the psychopaths and all that. I'm talking about theft. Most people are not still taking penitentiary chances, stealing some bread just because they're going to resell it for nothing. You know, a lot of crimes are based around the fact if you want to go a long way towards ending crime or property thefts, then maybe you should find a way to subsidize your country where people don't have to steal to get a decent meal. Maybe that. You know, and it's always they always take it and crime just changes, but they always will talk about, well, these people don't commit these type crimes. You know, rich people don't have to steal. They don't have to not to stay alive. They steal in other ways, and not all of them. Just like not all poor people steal. But if you eliminate the need to have to do these things, on the basis of society offers you nothing else to do, and spare me with this. Well, you can get an education and you can learn, and that sounds so well. That sounds so great. I wish that was the least of our worries. But we live in a system that must have an underclass, and that underclass is going to create an underclass under that, and those people are going to have to scavenge to live. And sometimes you get tired of scavenging, and sometimes you become a predator just to live. I know it's a lot. It's a lot to take in. Um, but that's it. Our crime problem is a reflection of our society. Look at Norway. Look at some of these countries like Norway, Finland, Sweden, Norway, Finland, Sweden, um, Iceland. Look at these countries. These countries practice more socialism than we practice, and they have lower crime rates. They have lower crime. Thailand has a different kind of crime. Yeah, I know the Democratic Socialist Republic of Thailand. Yeah, but Thailand needs to tighten up about some of their other laws. Thailand is where that's why I see U.S. officials going to vacation in Thailand, and I'd be like, yeah, I know what kind of vacationing you're doing. Yeah, they're tour features. Right, right. They're too. You know what? China doesn't. China has a China doesn't have anywhere near as much of that as people think because China is actually harsh on that. China is bad on child labor laws and even even the fact that you know India has made more arranged marriages than any place in Africa, but it's a conceptual problem. But yeah, yeah, China's way better than and China has a lot of other human rights violations, child labor laws, child labor all across Asia, child labor laws. But we're looking at it through the prism of Western civilization also, and that is problematic. But I think worldwide we should have some kind of understanding of child labor laws, and you know, and Apple all y'all with iPhones and some of us with Samsungs too. A lot of these phones are made in countries where child labor laws are non-existent, and that's why they like children and they teach them because they have small hands, and small hands are able to do the work faster than larger hands. That's why a lot of not too much on my iPhone. You don't want to talk about them in China, and then you don't want to talk about your iPhone. Don't worry about it. We're going to remove protection of your iPhone to India, to another human rights violation country. I'll keep supporting Apple. And I know it's complicated. I say that with just a modicum of humor, but if those are situations we can solve in the revolutionary struggles that we have abroad. We can end those if we understood that they're all linked. All oppression is linked, and we can link it to oppressive colonizing dictators. All of it. Don't forget cobalt and slave labor is linked to that. All of it. Every mineral that's in your phone and our smartphones is we would have the ability to produce smartphones on a miniaturization level that we have if it wasn't for cobalt, thallium, and one more one more mineral that they are mining 60% of from the Congo. Um, all these, the ones that don't come from China, China, they have the rare earth metals that they use in defense. Africa has the rare earth metals that we use in miniaturization for smartphones. Lithium, all lithium was the other one I was thinking of. Yeah, not. I know some people take lithium, but I'm talking about the lithium that is used for batteries also. I have new lithium because I have a new computer. Thank you. My lithium is new right now. Yeah, I have a better computer, and I'm thankful for that. But yeah, so we will. We will be doing history. We will be doing history once or twice a week, or I'll throw it in throughout because it's important for us to understand not only before we can decide where we go from here, we need to know where we are and how we got here. That's a lot of times I tell people are like, well, where do we go from here? I say, where are we? You can't plan how to get from somewhere where you don't know where you are. Thank you, God. You we can't do we can't do that. So that's our plan, and we are raising money for a Magic School Bus. Guess that's what I need to do. We're raising money for the Magic School Bus right here. If you would like to help us raise money for the Magic School Bus, and I can come by and pick each one of you all up individually, and then we can tunnel through space and time. And is this a good selling pitch? The Magic School Bus is not a good selling pitch. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, we have a lot more diversity than the Magic School Bus, though. We have a lot. Yes, you can drive. Yes, you can drive. I'm going to be lecturing, and we're going. And the first stop, our first stop, is OK Corral, because we need to pick up some new weapons. If I drive, y'all go on the other side of the guys. There will be no contract signed. You take if you get on the bus, you're consenting to wherever I take us. When you get on the bus, you're consenting to go wherever we wind up. Yeah. So if we wind up in um 1618, 1618, the year before 1619, you'll already know where we headed. Okay, we know where we're headed. If we, you ask me the time period we show up, and you can best believe you're probably gonna get where we're heading. You say, TNathan, why are we in 1618? Well, the first 20 slaves arrived in America in 1619. Yeah. And then we say, why are we in 1597? Well, transatlantic slave trade. Why are we in Portugal and not Africa? Well, I just need to kill the financing. Yeah, I need to kill the financing of it. We're gonna prove. See, that's why they can't have time travel. Because I would prove if parallel praxium paradox were a thing. Yeah, I would see. Yeah, I would say we can't go back. You step on a butterfly, you change history. I'm not stepping on a butterfly. I'm going to hit people in the head. We're going back in time to hit people in the head. We're gonna do some changing. We're gonna look, see, did that change anything? Before we leave, we're gonna be have to look in the future and see, did that do it? All right, didn't do it. If we get the right person, keep hitting. On the wheel is not for the weak. Listen, listen. The bus might become a weapon. The bus might become a weapon. We're gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to go talk to Shaka. I'm gonna help him win. I'm gonna tell him who he needs to eliminate. I'm gonna tell him, hey, you can't trust your brother-in-law. He's jealous. He's gonna sell you out for some beads and trinkets. Can't trust your brother-in-law. Can't trust him. Yeah, I'm gonna be like back in the day. Hey, listen here, listen here, friend. I know you are all about peace and love and harmony and fighting revolutions at the same time. But William O'Neill, he a bitch. Yeah, let Sadie kill him. Sadie should have shot him the first night in that car when they suspected him. Saying, if you don't want to do it, I can take care of it for you. I'm gonna be showing documentaries. We're gonna have to take evidence from the future to the past too. Hey, listen, this is a documentary on how you died. Let's see who caused it. But yeah, I know. That's why time doesn't bend to our will. But that's why we have to be revolutionary in the moment. All of the laughing and joking aside, that's fun exercise. But at the end of the day, who you are in the face of this inhumanity tells me who you are in the face of all others. So right now, all those people, I want you to go take inventory of all the people you follow and say they're about that life. And I want you to be able to say that you would have no problem following them. I want you to go do that. I want to know the names of the people you say you would have no problems following. That you, I'm curious because I'm gonna tell you, 98% of them, grapes, fruit salad, not getting bust. 98% of them are already making justifications for why we need to talk to the enemy, or why how we need to see things from both sides, or this is it in the face of history, or I need to raise money for my habit. Yeah, my habit is the people. That's my habit. My habit is the people. My habit is the community. So, but I'm curious. Y'all go, y'all go, and let me know which ones you're willing to really follow in revolution. I'm gonna go on my spaceship and go to Neptune. No, you're not. Yeah, you ain't got enough. I'm dismantling your spaceship and using it for weapons because we can't save enough people with one spaceship, but we can save enough people with the torch that I can create from your way. Can you imagine the torch I can create with a spaceship? The weapons, the armor we can create. You can always, we can always make you president. I don't think that's a good idea. That is not a good idea because I am not a good person when it comes to fighting for liberation. I am not. I don't. Let me tell y'all something. It is not possible for me to be president in a democracy as this stands and accomplish what we need to accomplish. I'm sorry. That's why I tell you all, I don't think we're going to get out of this because most people just want power for themselves. I want power to change for everybody. And those are not the first thing I would do as president is wipe out a bunch of people that stand in the way of that change. And a lot of people would think, oh, you're a dictator. No, I'm not a dictator. I'm just knowing that we cannot have this conversation. We can't keep getting in bed with the enemy and expecting revolution. You understand? And I don't think and I think that's why a lot of people don't follow me, is because they know that I will go to those. I believe the easiest way to end racism is to end racist. The easiest way to end racism is to end racist. The easiest way to stop the victimization of women is to end the victimizers. I can't change that. Like I say, I am not trying to save democracy in the name of democracy. I will only use democracy as far as it goes, and then I will convert to whatever is necessary to go the rest of the way. I'm not going to have a conversation with you about how we can psychologically change people who have proven they will be predators of children. I don't want to have that conversation. And I don't want to hear about their rights. And that makes me a hypocrite. Then you say I can do, yes, I can be inhumane to predators. See, this is why I tell you, you have to be sure I am what you want. And I don't have any problems telling you in advance. Gracie said I should do a live and charge people $3 to answer questions. I don't understand. There are really no questions that you really ask me that if you really follow me, you don't know where I stand on. But I also will also see. Here's the thing. I tell you all the time. Once, if we had revolution and we got to the point where we were liberated, I have to leave. I can't be part. I can't. I can't be part of of the peace because I want to literally hunt down everybody who is faking it, like they were there with us all the time. I'm going to hunt them down for every person that we lost that was really down, while people now think they just get to sit around and reap the benefits. And I have friends who have died in the name of liberation. and you're sitting around coming out of your hiding place and you believe that I'm just going to dust myself off and pretend like I was here all the time. No, it doesn't work for me. So that's why I won't be part of the peace because I need to remove myself from the situation because I won't forget. I won't. Then Tavia, I'm taking. We can get on your spaceship and leave because it's the best thing. I know there are things I would have to do in leadership to revolution that after the end of it, people will find hard to swallow. I know that, and I would leave because every time they look at me, they would know blood is on my hand, and blood is on the hands of some people that look like me. Blood is on the hand because some man has used his position as a so-called revolutionary to take advantage of women. Yeah, no, I'm not sitting quietly by for that. I've seen people who say, "Well, they down with you on every way except this way." That's a deal breaker. Blood is on my hand because you don't want liberation from oppression. You just want to switch places with the oppressor. Oh, so I don't know. Does this qualify, Gracie, as me answering the questions that people would ask me? I don't know. But at the end of the day, I believe liberation by any means necessary. And some of people say that, but I don't think they understand what it means. And I don't make an apology for it. This is not what you meant. It's too much. Too much. And don't call yourself a revolutionary if you're not willing to put in the work. I don't think people that go around and call themselves activists, I don't think they know what activism means. Revolutionary is not even in their reach. They can't even get advocacy and advocism. They can't get there. They believe tolerance is revolutionary. Or I tolerate them. No, tolerance is not revolutionary. Acceptance is revolutionary. Embracing is revolutionary. Well, all right. I think I've gotten enough community guideline violations on YouTube. I am going to let me do this. All right, YouTube. Thank you for joining me. We're out of here on YouTube, and